So welcome to your Oil Barons report. Right now, we are up in the booth with the man who is the voice for the Oil Barons, Mr. Tyler King. So Tyler, how does it feel to be the voice for the Oil Barons?
Well, to be honest with you, Bianca, it's probably the biggest honor I've ever gotten to have over the course of my career. You know, it's a junior A franchise here in Fort McMurray that really gives you a major junior feel. The fan enthusiasm is incredible. The commitment of the organization is great. And to be part of the radio broadcast this year, probably the most fun job I could ever ask for. Next to yours, of course.
No. But you've had some pretty good experiences with some other teams in Canada. Why do you think this one is so special to you?
Maybe it's the history, maybe it's just the commitment of the organization, or maybe it's just the group of guys that I've been lucky enough to be following this year. I mean, they're a group of kids with an incredible passion for the game, an incredible a passion for the logo on the front of their uniforms, and that's really shone through all year long. Because you look at this team, and they've never gone through an extended dry spell. They've had their ups and downs over the course of the season, but they've always been up there as one of the dominant teams within the AJHL North, and frankly, all of junior A hockey within Canada. That's not something you get to see very frequently at any level of hockey, and that's what's made them really stand out to me, I think.
And then this team particularly, they just keep getting accolades after accolades after accolades. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's the skill that Gord Thibodeau's assembled for this team. It's the fact that he had a great core of young talent that came along over the last few years, and then he added in some real key acquisitions this year. You look at guys that came over around deadline time like John Dunbar, a former 80-point scorer in this league, almost lucks into that acquisition, but it was certainly a shrewd one by Gord Thibodeau. And then to get a defenseman like Mike Puttiffin from the BCHL, he added that veteran presence on the blue line that he really needed. From the start of the year, bringing in Brody Hoffman, a goaltender who's been that rock and perhaps one of the biggest keys to the consistency of this team. That's really what's brought it all together in my mind.
Now, these guys, when I look at this team, they've obviously been quite special, but you've had some pretty amazing moments with them. You got to go to Russia, you've gone on the road with them. When you look back on this season, what stands out?
Definitely the trip to Russia. I mean, the fact is I'd only arrived in Fort McMurray 2 weeks before we left. So by the time I was done my first month in Fort McMurray, I'd spent more time in Russia than I actually had in Alberta. And that's going to stand out for the players, I think, too. It's something that I mentioned it to them even now as we're approaching the end of the postseason. And they mentioned, well, that's going to stand out for the rest of my hockey career. And you've got players who, are going to maybe go on to Division III, NCAA, CIS, Alberta College Hockey, and probably some players on this team who are going to go on to their pro days and have some great accomplishments as well. Mm-hmm. But that's a trip and that's an experience. Playing for your country, and I remember them having the Canadian flag hung up in the middle of their dressing room out there in Russia, and what pride was associated with that. It's never going to leave their memories, certainly never going to leave mine. One of the things about being a broadcaster in this league is you got to be able to talk to the rink staff to figure out how you can broadcast at each individual rink in this league. Now imagine doing that in Russia when the rink staff you're talking to don't even speak English. We had a lot of fun trying to make that work, and it's a big experience that I'm going to remember too.
Well, thanks. Thanks for letting us hang out with you up here, and thanks so much for joining us.
Anytime, Bianca. It's a pretty good view, isn't it?